Greetings, ladies and gentle readers. I'm Dwyer, and I have not yet read all of the Skills 4. See, reveals nothing here yet. Haven't bought it, so I haven't read it. Just came out, I don't know, a couple hours ago. But I wanted to do my expectations for this book, because I feel like this is a book that could go one of two ways, as you know. And in case the author actually, stumbles across this like they did my first one, I do believe Honor Ray is a very, very talented author. I really do. Book one was fantastic, and in my opinion, it rose them to the potential of being one of the best authors in the lit RPG space, just bar none, hands down. Then book two came out. It was okay. I didn't have any huge problems with it. I thought it was a little bit below the first one, but hey, that is sometimes the case. No big deal there. It is the third one. That one was a problem. That one was a problem. I could see the heavy hand of the author reaching in very, very hard into the book. I saw a lot of things that were just there just because, and it was a very huge fall off, in my opinion, from books 1 and book 2. Now, 4 catches my attention for the following reasons. I'm a little bit hopeful for 4, and here is a reason why. It says here in the description that the author and his dragon is going to travel to an unknown kingdom in search of a way to defeat the Scourgelings, the threat of this particular world. And that interests me a lot because, to me, that reads like a reset. That maybe the author went over what they had written previously. Maybe they were starting to be like, you know what, maybe I don't like book 3 either. Let's just do a hard reset, take them to somewhere new, and quote-unquote start over again. Throw in perhaps some character development, and then while they're writing this, they can think about how they can tie that back around to what they did have in books 1, 2, and 3 to sort of recover their equilibrium. So I'm very, very hopeful that perhaps 4 is going to recover. I actually have high hopes that 4 is going to recover, that it's going to show exactly why book 1 and 2 popped off as they did, but we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and select the Buy It Now button. I don't want to show my details on screen, so we'll be doing that off camera. Then we'll read it. A little bit busy right now, so a couple of days, I should be able to record to see if I'm right or if, unfortunately, I'm wrong. Because if I'm wrong, I'm probably dropping the series. Yeah, if this is like book 3, I'll be dropping the series, unfortunately. So, cross your fingers, we'll see. All right, finish reading all the skills, book 4. And if I remember my predictions correctly, I finished this actually a couple of days ago. I just haven't recorded my reaction to it yet. If I remember my assumptions going into the book, I think for the most part, yeah, it very much felt like a little bit of a kind of restart because we're introduced to a new area, we're introduced to new characters, a few weird bits, get into that in a minute. But yeah, we didn't really have a whole lot of what came before until a little bit at the very end, which more or less made some sense. Throughout the book, there was very much a returning to what's important kind of feel in book 4. So I was reading it and it was like, yeah, this really feels like a book that's attempting to fix where 3 went off the rails. So yeah, I would probably bet money that Honor Ray didn't like book 3 either. That said, I finished this book in an evening, which 560 pages, so went by pretty quickly. What do you have in the book, though? Obviously, they're in a new place. This new place operates by its own rules of sorts because there are no dragons, which I think they tell you right off the bat, right? Yeah, no dragons for generations. So the people have to get by with like the scourging eruptions and whatnot, and they have their own little unique way of doing that. Does that say in here too? Heart of an ancient scourgeling eruption, its reawakening. Okay, yeah, so what it doesn't say is that the heart of that scourgeling eruption is actually being farmed, so to speak, by the humans who have been living here with no dragons. So that's kind of making it an interesting dive into what these eruptions are, what the scourgelings are, where they came from, the whole who, what, where, when, why kind of dealio. That said, it's interesting some of the things that did happen in this book, or should I say didn't happen in this book. For example, we are very, very, very hands off the local politics of the city and region he finds himself in. But at the same time, I can't be too surprised because in the book 3, it felt like the author tried to go deeper into like local politics and whatnot. And we kind of saw that a little bit with 2 as well. And those are 2 areas that kind of both felt the flattest in those 2 books. So here we're in a new area. It's ruled by whatever. We don't really get a clear picture of how the region is structured. Like there's trade between these new cities with no dragons. But those are very background elements in the story, and they're in no way the focus. Because, again, you kind of get the sense that Honore is aware of what's been shaky in their past books. So they're just like, well, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. We're just going to throw the weaknesses out the window and concentrate on my strengths. And I think it worked out pretty all right here. Would it made for a bit more believable tale if they were running up against some maybe the machinations of some bad actors in the region trying to like hold on to their power or like whatever, and feeling threatened by the dragons that are appearing out of nowhere after generations. Yeah, maybe. But for the most part, yeah, it's not there, and I think that's okay. It's probably for the best. That said, there are a few weird things that popped up in the book. For example, this new region speaks a new language. That language is Texan. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. We know a lot of time has been going by with like the dragons and the eruptions and yada yada yada. There's like a whole cycle that's been going on for a very, very long time. So the idea, like clearly they're taking like a hard pivot for the origin of this world to be Earth. But again, that felt really stupid. Like, I can't give this a 10 out of 10. I'd probably give it a 7 or an 8. Because, yeah, there's no way the Texan dialogue in any way, shape, or form would still be alive from, long, long time ago, like 1,000 years ago. Like, even a couple hundred years, the dialect would be completely destroyed from what it used to be. We can even see that right now. If we go back here in 2024, at least the time of recording this, and if we go back to like 1824, I think you might be in for a little bit of a shock as to the vocabulary of the people of that time. Go back another 100 years, you might not even be able to understand what anyone is even saying. Go back another 100 years, and it's all a foreign language. So, no, that just doesn't hold up, unfortunately. But it's okay. They're using it as an excuse to set up a backstory for like where the eruptions are coming from, how the world was even created, and I thought that was okay. Once we started getting the information that occurs in the book, for that. Until then, it just feels weird and out of place. But then you kind of give it a pass. So I'm okay with that. I'm a little concerned with book 5. Book 5, we'll see if they can really, really, really recover. Because it looks like we're going back into like the world that they left. So will that be able to hold up to scrutiny? Because book 4, they're done with this area of the world. It seems like, at least for now, they're done with this area of the world. And now we're going back. hearkening to what I just said previously, with this being very much a reset sort of novel. So now that they've reset, can they reintegrate? And I think as long as they stick that landing, they recovered. Book 1, I'll reread. Book 2, I think is fine. Book 3, I'm skipping, but I will come straight to book 4. And if they land it again, then they've completely recovered. Hands down, I would give it the probably series a nice 7 or an 8 out of 10 overall. Can't be a 10 out of 10 because book 3 is too bad. Just way too bad. But yeah, land book 5, and then you got a solid 7, maybe even 8 out of 10 series on your hands. Way to go, Honor Ray. You can see that it's selling well. I think there wasn't a single review at the time when it came out, and I purchased it and was starting to read it. But you can see here, looks like we have a 3-star. No 2 stars or 1 stars yet. Not entirely surprising, because the only people who are probably actually reviewing the book, are probably the ones who know it's out. And the people who know it's out are probably the people who are following it or already fans of it. So we'll see in a month or two how these reviews are looking. But I don't anticipate any 1s or 2s unless, people really don't like Texas. So yeah, tip of the hat to Honor Ray. Lot of authors who take a dive like she did aren't able to recover. They just aren't. But I think this one did. So hats off to you for pulling it around. I certainly appreciate it because I've been disappointed by a lot of series taking a hard nosedive and then just crashing and burning massively. So I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic again of where the series is going. Congratulations. You've kept me on as a fan for whatever that's worth. So looking forward to book 5 whenever that comes out. Heavily recommend, especially if you liked 1 or 2. And yeah, let's go find something else to read. Hopefully the next read is also going to be good.